Earnestly podcast here. It's now officially divisional week, NFL, with Kyle Nash. Student game. It's a student game report, week to week.
Honor, joy, and privilege. Hey, listen, just so you know, I'm finally recovering from a 15-hour day at Disney yesterday. Shockingly enough, didn't see you there. I'm very surprised.
Whoa, wait. Disney, where'd you go? The family?
Yeah.
Wow.
My wife saw that they put out a thing for locals or whatever, the residence special or whatever, and they had a thing.
Right.
And MLK Day, the kids didn't go to school.
Right.
And the wife's been trying to take them. We've been very concerned with how Disney's doing business nowadays. We may not even get Corbin in there. And then she saw an opportunity. And what am I supposed to do? Say no? I mean, I was still recovering from the late night of watching all the chatter of Trevor Lawrence doing stuff. I'm contemplating middle name status for Trevor Lawrence. And since I won't be on Huddle Ups as we're recording it before they record, maybe you could put it in front of the panel for me on how much Trevor Lawrence may deserve middle name status, and we'll talk about it, I'm sure.
So, I mean, I would say definitely a playoff win should at least get you some consideration for...
You have it all wrong, though.
Okay.
Just a playoff win? Listen, Joe Flacco strung a few playoff wins together. He's not getting middle name status. This is different. And I get the concept, by the way, like Andrew Luck. He set the orphanage on fire before he decided to save it by putting out the conflagration. I get it.
Right.
By the way, conflagration, for those who don't know, is just a really big fire. Anyways.
Hey, we're learning today on the podcast.
Right, that's right. There's your PSA. Anyways.
There we go.
But understand, over and above Trevor Lawrence's 4 first-half interceptions and a 5th turnover on special teams, there's no team in history, Ernest EJ Christian, Ernest Julius Christian. That's right. You get middle name status just because you're sexy.
Ernest Jamiroquai Christian.
That is some virtual insanity if I was going to go that direction. See what I did there? Anyway,
yeah, absolutely.
What a great song. Anyway,
great sense of show today too. All the puns.
Hashtag talent.
Get all in while you can. I ain't gonna see you tonight, so get all in while you can.
That's what she said.
Yeah, she did say that. She did say it. She did.
Anyways, shut up, Ernest Christian.
Last night too.
Probably told you to shut up as well. Anyway. No, but with all that in mind, the fact that no team has before come back from a -5 in the turnover ratio is flipping amazing. We're not talking enough about that. We're not talking enough about 2 things, but one of them is that. The other, we may not see that again in our lifetime, right?
Very possible.
Right? And keep in mind, it's not just, -5 in the turnover column. It's no special teams touchdowns. It's no defensive touchdowns.
Right.
Trevor Lawrence went to work, dug a hole, and then used the power of his golden hair to climb out that some beast. Okay? Like,
what does Nick Wright call him? The Prince? Because the Prince of the hair.
Listen, Nick Wright, first
he loves him. He's on the bandwagon.
Yeah, he is a bandwagoneer. I've been talking about him making great throws since last year.
Yeah.
Right? Even at our quarterback summit with our good friend Mikey Byrne and everybody's favorite distant trash talker from afar by Viceroy, Zach the Degenerate. He even respected Trevor Lawrence. I remember correctly, might have even put him top 10 or something like that.
Did he really?
It was pretty.
I'm not sure. He was pretty. I don't know if he did that.
Top 15, top 12.
Well, he was pretty. Because he wanted the Jags to draft Justin Fields, and I told him no. I mean, Fields is good, but Trevor Lawrence is the way to go.
Well, and at the time, it's not necessarily a bad take, but the punchline is he was pretty high on Trevor, or maybe I have it mixed up. Maybe it was Mikey Byrne. Mikey Byrne's capable of good takes.
Sometimes, a good portion of the time, I would say.
Yeah, definitely, certainly more than you. Anyway,
well, that's not saying that.
Set the bar nice and low there, EJ. Good job.
At least about Jim having a safe takes.
Listen, I mean, by the way, as much as he denies it at some point, and I know he's going to argue this when I bring it up, I really wish I could bring it up tonight on the Huddle Up podcast. Bing! But he owes Dakota Prescott an apology letter and a Christmas.
I think he did, I think he kind of sort of did that on his Facebook today, actually.
Okay, well, I haven't sampled the 5 observations yet. Bing!
Neither have I. I'm gonna check it out today when I get a chance.
Yeah, that's a double bing for your 5 observations, Jim, if you're listening. So, and maybe that kumbaya moment has happened, and goodness knows he needs it. And I'll leave that at that then. And that, if that's the case, I'll back off. But Trevor Lawrence is an interesting story at the very least, and he's Lucifer Morningstar in its finest. I've been trying to tell you all about him, but you couldn't listen. He's been making NFL throws since game 1. He just turned the ball over a lot, was asked to do things that rookie quarterbacks with those kinds of rosters shouldn't. And let's not even get started with, cats like Laviska Shenault dropping more balls than, well, somebody going through puberty, frankly. Anyways, so this comeback going all that, he's worthy of status. By the way, Justin Herbert haters, y'all are exposing yourselves like, Donald Trump trying to hide government documents, because I was told I need to use something different than Janet Jackson in a halftime show. So
who told you this?
So
who told you this?
What's that?
Who told you something? Who told you to change that?
You or Jim? I forget.
I never said that. You can keep that one. I love that one.
And it's Jim. Somebody asked for something different. Who knows? Maybe it was everybody's favorite Eagle fan and hater, Matt Muehlheisen.
It was probably Matt. It's like a Matt thing, actually.
Whatever.
Which, by the way, he denied me. But by the way, it was kind of cold. He denied me to come on. I invited him on the show this week to talk about the game, Giants-Eagles game. He's like, no.
That was real?
I guess. I mean, if it was faking it, he sure as hell didn't make it look real.
No, I mean,
what's the big deal? Like I think he's saying that I might corner him making a pick of the game. Like, why would I corner him make a pick of the game? Who cares? You're gonna pick the Eagles anyway.
You're supposed, as any good host, you should ask him to make a pick. If he was coming on my show,
I both pick the Eagles with the game. What are we doing here?
He won't pick the Eagles. He refuses to because something reverse psychology. He's worse at being a fan of his team than you are.
Well, wait, this is why I get bothered by you guys, though. Okay, I didn't know
this was going to be a therapy session. Here we go.
It's like okay. So should I be a homer or should I be honest?
Well, here's the thing. Even when the right move is to pick your team, you still don't. That's the thing.
Okay,
you picked the Vikings twice. That's my point.
I did.
Okay. You
got me there. There you got me. There you got me.
And that's just the latest example, because I came up with this over the years of you throwing your team under the bus when you shouldn't.
Kyle, you haven't known me since the last time the Giants were actually good. We didn't even know each other yet.
But
what have they shown in the last 10 years that have confidence that they're going to improve?
So wait a minute, time out. Okay, if this is the direction we're going, what have they shown you in the last 10 years? You mean other than a couple Super Bowls?
No, they won a Super Bowl 12 years ago.
12 years.
That's 2011.
Okay, I'm not doing the math. I'm asking.
I'm just saying, since then they've been playoffs one time in 2016. That's it.
But let me put it this way. And listen, you have a stretch with McAdoo and Joe Judge.
Yes, Macapoop. Remember?
But mine's funnier. Okay, stop it. Anyway,
I go into the weeds and stuff, man. Come on now. I'm the diehard here.
Yeah, your bad takes do die hard. You keep them bitches coming.
Come on.
Right into it. You can't make it that easy. This is on you. I blame you. No, I hope that's beer you're drinking, by the way. Anyways.
No, it's cola champagne.
That works for me. No, but listen, joking aside, when there is an opportunity or a reason to be positive about your team, you still refuse to take it. It gets a little out of hand. That's the only thing. That's all I'm saying. Listen, no one has told you have to agree with me. Christ knows you probably won't. But this is why we make good radio. I mean, I had my dude of the 3-point conversion who gets in lightsaber duels with me all the time, Cortland Griffin.
Oh, the Cortland. I was going to say Ab Stanley again.
No, Ab Stanley's a lost cause. He probably still thinks the Jags are 31st overall.
Oh.
He said to me
this week.
I talk more trash than he said, you really need to let it go. I'm like, no, dog. Because you let it loose when they dropped down back below 18, you're all like, hey, those Jags are pretty bad. When they were on that 5-game loss streak.
Yeah.
I think the phrase is, how do you like me now? Anyways, we're in the weeds now.
Yeah.
By the way, shouts to Ab Stanley, 3-point conversion. Bing! When there is opportunity to prop your team, like, I don't know how excited you were and weren't about Brian Daboll, but
during the hiring,
yeah, I don't know.
I will say this much, and I remember exactly because somebody actually shared the video again when he pulled up in his blue pickup truck with his little briefcase.
I forgot about that.
And I remember, and they were playing the Stone Cold Steve Austin theme song. Someone I think Randy Cruz, my colleague Randy Cruz, actually did the Stone Cold Steve Austin theme song over it. And I said, "This feels a little different. This feels a little different."
You said that.
Yeah,
you said that.
That's all I'm going to say.
One instance where your fanhood shone through and was actually correct.
Right.
So I'll give you that.
I got a little tingle feeling in my head. So
here's the thing, and in the past 10 years or whatever, there have been times where your Giants have been relevant, but it didn't last is the problem. Let's be clear.
Right.
But you going over and above and out of your way to overprop other players to show and try to battle me in 2017 about Russell Carrington Wilson, to try to tell me about Tom Brady being the GOAT as his final play as a New England Patriot was an interception to the Tennessee Titans, doing his best Brett Favre impression, I might add. Things like that. You siding with me that Gronk should be an MVP candidate at one point,
that's like 8 years ago.
Sure. You asked for historical context, and I am providing.
I love it. Yes.
You wanted to get in the weeds? Bitch, get your gloves.
We got a lot of trails in this show, a lot of history in this show. I'll tell you that.
And listen, it's funny. The only trail we don't have is one that goes to Oregon because I don't talk about Portland. We don't do a lot of NBA talk. That's all right. Oregon trail drop, bitch.
That's
Bring
right.
it. But anyways, say all of the above to say this. You didn't pick the Giants in the playoffs is your latest addition.
I will agree. I own that.
You are a repeat offender on this front because I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. Sorry. I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. There's no way.
It's not my son, Eli.
Yeah, I can't hit your son's octave there. It's just not a thing I can do. But
his balls ain't dropped yet, so
in due time.
In due time.
Listen, Laviska Shenault has just as many as more drops than he does at this point. Whoa!
Damn.
Got him. No, but
damn.
The that's the thing, man. You have when you have opportunity to fan and be legitimate in doing it, you fail vastly. So yeah.
But I really did feel this. I will say, guys, I'm not going to defend myself here, but
because there is
it did feel uncomfortable that everybody in the media was picking the Giants for that game last week.
See, now that's fair. That's the most fan thing you've said. That's credible. I will grant you that.
Yeah, but am I surprised they won the game? No, I'm not surprised at all. After what we saw Christmas Eve, yeah.
I mean, bro, you came out and picked the Red Tails. Commanders as a playoff team.
Okay, let me run through the games real quick, and to make this faster, we'll go through six games real quick of the weekend. There's gonna be one thing quickly that stood out from each game. Sure. Seahawks, Niners. What stood out for you?
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. No, man. Listen, that defense is going to be amazing. And say what you will about Brock Purdy. I know he had an amazing game. I am nerdy for Purdy. Don't get it twisted. But we know that defense is going to win, right? That's going to be it. And there's somebody on this show that talks about defense traveling well. There's your application, right, Ernest Christian?
Yeah.
So there you go.
You were there. Jags and Chargers were still out to you, obviously.
Oh my God! And
we were texting during the game too. You, me, you, and G Stelio, GWSDWIO, LIO.
Well done. The statistical anomalies in this game are numerous. We mentioned the turnovers already, right? Third biggest comeback in playoff history, right? What was the other one? It's not coming to me immediately, but for people attacking Justin Herbert, you're the problem. For people attacking the defense, you're the problem. They got 5 turnovers. And here's the main thing I'll tell you, EJ Christian. The defense was a victim of their own success. They were on the field so long because they turned Trevor Lawrence over so many times that eventually got tired out. That's how Travis Etienne was able to run later. After dominating that offensive line throughout the early part of the game, the Chargers, the Jags offensive line managed to get them tired and started running the football with a balanced offense, something I said that the Jags needed to do to win. Both teams did what I told them that they needed to do to win, and then the game's decided by 1 point. Nobody, and I mean nobody, would make a living trying to get teams within 1 point. I'm just throwing that out there.
Right. Bills Dolphins. What stood out?
Boy, aren't you worried about the Bills suddenly? Skylar effing Thompson? Really? Let that happen?
I mean, it wasn't great, but he did enough to keep him in the game.
Listen, stop right there. For what he is, he was fan bloody-tastic. Let's be
a lot of drops early, too, in the game. That could
not every team does with third-string quarterbacks what the 49ers do. And by the way, anybody trying to tell me that John Lynch isn't an elite GM? Oh, well, he doesn't have a ring yet. Bitch,
that's a thing?
Please. Oh, yeah. Dude, I had to go lightsaber on that.
Ooh, it's a bad take if people say that shit. Horrible take, in fact. Giants Vikings.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Yes.
Right? This is the reason why Saquon Barkley is the student of the game MVP this season, okay? By the way, if you haven't heard the show with me and Mikey Byrne when we give out mid-season or end-of-season awards, step your game up. Get a hold of your life. I mean, and then it wasn't even about Kirk Coupons, although that'll be the narrative, of course. Yeah, the defense is awful. We've been trying to tell you the defense is awful, and most of you listened. The others didn't. Next question.
Yeah, Kirk wasn't great, but the defense is the reason they lost that game.
Correct.
End discussion. Ravens Bengals.
Wow. So of all the things for that game to get decided by, who had defensive tackle touchdown? I didn't.
Didn't have that.
Good God. Listen, this is what I meant by Huntley, by Tyrone Huntley being a good backup. He's a good backup. He can compete in a game like this in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson pretty much sealed he's not going to come back by being hurt and Huntley making that game as close as he did. Because his argument to make Mahomes money doesn't have a leg to stand on in the eyes of the Baltimore leadership. And wherever he goes, we'll give him what he wants. We know that, obviously.
Oh, so and we'll get to that in a second in the Baltimore section of the losers in a second. Finally, last night's game, Cowboys, Bucks. What stood out?
You know, it's ironic that instead of being the GOAT, Tom Brady looked like Clifford the big red dog. Now, all he did was kind of lie around. You know what Clifford has in common here? Joseph Clifford Montana being the GOAT and that guy playing like a GOAT. I said it. You like that Clifford reference?
I do like the Clifford reference, but why are we knocking on Brady at 45 years old, though?
Because it's been the narrative his whole career, buddy. He's been carried and assisted by a lot of Hall of Fame and elite level talent, and no one's talked about it except for me on your show. And then you try to fight, and then I question your Giants fanhood. And then years later, you're what? Why would you question my Giants fanhood? Okay.
All right.
And listen, I know I go after Brady here, but it's more of a shtick thing. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer. Obviously, he's one of the greats. Certainly the most accomplished NFL quarterback of all time, no question. But you obviously can't put it on Brady as much as I joke about it, right? That offensive line has been awful all year. But Kyle, they got Ryan. I saw you cock your head back to the mic. You were going to ask.
No,
they got Ryan Jansen back. Great. You got a center. How many offensive linemen are there on an offensive line there, EJ? Help the world. He's counting. This is shitty radio, by the way.
Five. It's on the video too, though. So YouTube page.
It's in the video too. No, that's the joke. No.
Yeah.
5. So you're trying to tell me you get 20% of awesome back and you're all that. Listen, even Justin Timberlake would need more than 20% to start saying he got sexy back. Okay? I'm just throwing that out there. And by the way, we won't talk about the weight issues that Lombardi Lenny had up in this beast. Okay? So,
all right, let's get to the losers of the weekend, and let's get some letter grades finally. So we have 6 losers this weekend, Wildcard Weekend. Let's start with Saturday. The Seattle Seahawks, who ended the year 9-8.
You know, I'm going to give the Seahawks a B. I know they hit the wall late in the season, didn't do as well, but good God, we all had them as a team that was battling for the first pick with Atlanta and didn't get it, and made the damned postseason with help, I will grant. But yeah, as much as the commonality on the Huddle Up podcast is F. Pete Carroll, I'm going to give the Seahawks a B.
I actually went a little higher than that. I went A- because
All right.
again, I had them as the worst team this year. I said they will have number one pick in the draft, and not only did not do that, they actually made the playoffs this year.
The only reason they weren't on my docket is because Atlanta went to Seattle.
Right. Okay. No, but Seattle.
By the way, folks, we were making those predictions in August.
In August, not
August.
yeah,
So
exactly.
we're not talking about right. Yeah,
right. We're going with no information. No, but Geno Smith's probably comeback player of the year. I know. I think you disagree with that on your show. Because there's definitely a conversation for that.
Well, I mean, see, again, horrible Giants fan. How on earth do you give it Geno, who collapsed at this point?
I didn't say. Wait. I didn't say he was. I just said he's in the conversation. That's all.
Right, carry on. You and your conversation talk.
Like if you're doing ranking top 5, top 3, he's in the top 3, top 5
by
rankings.
that logic, Travis Etienne needs to be in the
probably so too. Yes.
Good mother beep.
Coach, we know who Coach of the Year is, right? Come on now.
I do. Not sure about you, Home Slice.
Discuss it later. All right.
What about the fact that you live in Florida, so you're comfortable in your flip flops? Boom! Got him on the air.
Kind of funny. I'm actually wearing it now. It's funny you said that. All right, we have the LA. No, really, it's the San Diego Chargers, who are end of the year 10-7.
You're awful, but that's still funny. You have to go punitive by pulling off a historic, literally a historic collapse, right? So I'm thinking. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to say C+. They made the playoffs. That's worth at least a C, right? They should have done better. I had them winning the first round. In my Uncle Paulie ceremonial cup picks for the Captain and Company morning show on A7BN Sports, Captain Company in the morning, right? Bing. Mm-hmm. I lost. I could have gone perfect in my picks, but the Chargers done went and effed up the rotation. So, and your guy, Coach Staley, isn't fired yet. They fired the offensive coordinator.
And I said too over the weekend, like what's going to save Staley probably is the fact that the Spanos family's cheap as shit.
That's a scapegoat in case anybody.
Yeah, they're cheap. They don't want to pay for Staley's contract and then pay for Sean Payton's too, assuming Sean Payton is next in line. Come on now.
So here's the thing. These teams that Sean Payton is allegedly interviewing.
And by the way, he's been very transparent about that on the Colin Cowherd show.
Transparent.
So, well, quote unquote, not as much as you could.
He's talking about it a lot. That's all we know.
He addressed it yesterday about his meeting coming up with the Panthers.
Great. He admitted he had a meeting. All that does drives up his cost.
Yep.
So
he's not dumb. He's not dumb. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for my money, I don't know that he takes any of those jobs. But by the way, the absolute petty in the Panthers making a move on him in a division with a division rival. Holy crap, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, continue.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I also want C as well. I want C actually on this team because again, playoff team. Yeah, it's supposed to be the playoff team. So yeah, I will say I give him credit for.
I mean, 10 wins with all those injuries, EJ. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I get at. Like, at least holding the fourth down when those injuries. Because those injuries happened really early in the year, too. Like, week 2, week 3.
But they lingered for a long time, too.
Right.
Some guys got hurt more than once.
Right. And they got healthy by late November and was able to hold the fourth down. Because you got to be able to hold the fourth down until those guys come back and then take off, which they did. And probably should have won this game against the Jaguars on Saturday if it wasn't for, Brandon Staley, of course. But I give him a C, though.
I'll say this. I picked them making 11 games, and they got to 10 with the injuries.
Right.
Again, the only reason why it's C+ is the colossal, historic choke job that took place.
Agreed there on that one. All right. We have the Miami Dolphins, who ended the year 9-8. Not including the playoff records. This is regular season record.
I mean, I have a mind to put them at incomplete, right? here's the thing. They were in the middle of overachieving my expectations.
Yep.
I had them at 7 wins, right?
You have 7 wins this year?
The Finns, I had them at 7, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, was Jim had him as a playoff team, not you? Okay.
No, they were competing in my bracket. I did not have them making it.
Right.
And actually, I'm going to pull up my picks here to verify, so no one can accuse me of being a Dirk Durr.
I know I am as a 7 seed actually.
I mean that is a very EJ thing to do. But yeah, I had him. Yeah, I had him at 7 wins. So,
Okay.
So for me, they overachieved over and above missing Tua twice. They should be a team that gets an A+, right? But here's the thing: you lost 6 straight games, so I can't give you an A+. I'm going to go A-. But this is based on my expectations. I know there are going to be people like you or Jim who are disappointed, expected a playoff appearance from them. Me having, well, you predicted playoffs, right?
Right. No, I'm with you.
So you expected a playoff appearance.
No, they did more. No, they did more on your end than you thought they would.
Correct. And these are different grading scales because of that. We are two different instructors, but I'm the student of the game, and you're EJ Christian, and that's Big Jim. There's nothing academic about that.
Right. Well, it was just why I went B+, because if this team actually has Tua, so Tua missed what, 6 games this year?
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So even if you take the down the middle, 3-3 with Tua, this is a 12-win team probably.
Right.
I mean, this team literally is a different team with Tua. When Tua played football with this team, this was statistically speaking the best offense in football.
And that's why I wanted to put in complete, right?
Right.
Like too often were they ready for Teddy and Skylar Thompson coming in. I like, how do you grade that? And he still looked pretty bleeding good. Let's be honest. Buffalo made that more of a game than they should have.
I think the letdown for me was the defense didn't play as well as I thought they would late in the year. And they probably should have won at least one of those games that stretch run with the Chargers, Niners, Bills won. You wouldn't win those games anyway.
Having covered this team, that's Dolphins dolphining. As much as we talk about Chargers chargering, Dolphins dolphin here.
Of course. But B+, I had them going to playoffs. I had them as a 10-win team. They went 9-8.
So I said what I say, A or A-.
You said A- actually.
Okay, so I said A-. You said B+.
Yeah,
wildly different.
Yeah, we're in the ballpark. All expectations, right?
Word.
All right. How about the Minnesota Vikings? 13-4. This is gonna be tough.
C-. Maybe. They have to be a C because they made the playoffs, but in everything else, they've been a disappointment and underwhelming. And frankly, your abuse of Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson is completely unacceptable, and your defense sucks out loud. Get a vacuum cleaner, paint it purple. That's the defense. So, yeah, I think we're pretty clear on
that. So annoying. I went C as well.
I thought you were imitating the sound of a vacuum cleaner, not a horn. You meant my bad.
Skull.
Oh, the standing jumping jack. I know that one. Yeah.
Saquon touchdown. No, talking.
See, that was very fan of you. Good job.
By the way, my mom filled me. I went to my mom's house watching the game with my brothers and cousins and stuff. We're all Giants fans, so my mom filmed us during the game while the Giants were scoring.
So
I'm an idiot. I am an idiot when I'm watching Giants football.
Your family's Giants fans and you tag along. Got it. Okay.
I started first. What are you talking about? Right. No, but I did go C though, because again, making the playoffs, not surprised. I had them making it as a wild card, so I could have gone C+ there as well too. But C because for 13-14 having a -5 point differential, that's pretty crappy.
Yeah, over and above getting the division with help from Dan Campbell neutralizing the Packers for 2 weeks.
Right. And the division that outside of Detroit, surging late, wasn't really a tough division this year, really, because Green Bay
was not. It wasn't NFC South, or excuse me, NFC South bad, but it was bad.
Right. So yeah, I gotta give him a C there. I guess my question is this now: Kirk Cousins, the narrative of Kirk Cousins. This is who he is, right? He's a good quarterback, top 16, possibly top 12. But when it comes to playing big games, he's not going to get you over the hump.
And this is what confuses me about this team is offensively, what the hell more can you give coupons.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I know they don't have Kyle Rudolph anymore, but okay. You have Diggs and Thielen at receiver. Who would kill for that? Plenty of quarterbacks.
Give me Jefferson in receiver.
What'd I
Diggs.
say?
You said Diggs.
Oh, hey, at one point that was true, and he still couldn't do a damn thing, could he?
Yeah, that's very true.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Well done, EJ.
Yes.
But yeah, obviously, okay, because Justin Jefferson's worse? No.
One argues better right now.
One could argue statistically that's accurate.
Yeah.
Some people would tell you talent-wise it's accurate. I'm not as good a scout. I'm not going to make such a bold claim, but I do know that that Diggs or Jefferson with Thielen is amazing, and Dalvin Cook. Listen, you don't need to be an FSU fan to understand that Dalvin Cook's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's another Vikings failure, but what else do they know? All right.
Exactly.
All right. The Baltimore Ravens, who finished the year 10-7. This is gonna be interesting because we're gonna talk discussion about Lamar too. So 10-7 Ravens.
So 10-7 for me is about exactly where I had them, right? Actually, you know what? I have it open. I will double check what I picked the Ravens at. In the AFC North, I had the Ravens at 11-6. And then Lamar gets hurt. And then they still make the playoffs and are in a battle for a division, except another anomaly like no other. And of course, you know, no offense to DeMar Hamlin, of course. Love his miraculous recovery, and I'll just call it survival. I think that's fair, don't you?
Dude, he almost died, so yeah.
Yeah. That's the definition of not dying on the side. Survival. Something dumb. Thank you, EJ. I appreciate the correction.
Mm-hmm.
I simulated you calling me dumb, and I agreed. This is a very weird show here on Student of the Game, right?
Yeah.
So even with Lamar being out, they only missed my prediction of them by 1. And I had them winning the division, which they never really kind of had the opportunity to do in proper form, which it's a weird physics.
Yeah, of course.
It's funny. I predicted how close this division was going to be. And anyways, all that aside, I still blame Mike Tomlin because I had the Steelers at 10 wins and they would have got it if they started frickin' sorry. Enough about the Kenny Pickett. The punchline's this. They met my expectations. They battled Joey Burr and company to where it took another anomaly to knock them out in the playoffs. They're still a great franchise in the NFL, regardless of whatever anybody says. I'm going to go A-, but the front office is about to really make promotion to the next grade difficult.
I went B.
Okay.
Probably B plus because they at least were covered enough to make the playoffs, unlike last year without Lamar. Same situation, but at least they've got the job done toward the end. Wasn't pretty. One could argue
wrong team. That's definitely not Purdy. That's San Francisco.
Yeah, one can argue that had one could argue had they learned to close games out early in the year.
Right.
They might be in 1 seed in this conference this year, given how things played out.
But how much is that as youth and the youth they have in
it's something.
Yeah. And by the way, let's not talk about the receiver core dropping all sorts of balls against the Jags to make that win possible. Like that receiver performance was so bad with Lamar Jackson in Duval that it changed the course of NFL history that week, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Jags aren't in the playoffs if they do their job. Think about it.
This is true. Two things I want to ask you about the Ravens. One from this weekend. John Harbaugh. And we're both fans of John Harbaugh.
Right.
One of the best coaches in the league. But what was he thinking on that last drive with the clock management?
I don't have a lot for you on that. I'll put it this way. Even a coach that you should be more fond of than you are, but you're not a Giants fan, in Tom Coughlin made a few time management
Of course, yeah.
And I know people are dumb enough. It makes sense to fire John Harbaugh. You know what makes sense? He'd get a phone call the next effing day to be hired as a head coach somewhere, literally anywhere in the country, because colleges would be on the table too.
Yeah.
So yeah, have fun with that. If you can make that statement about your coach, maybe firing him isn't a good idea. Just gonna throw that out there.
How about hiring Brandon Steele and see how that works out? Thank you,
bro. You are you big man.
I'm big man.
I don't know why. Did you lose money for Christ's sake to the chart with the
No,
chart?
I actually didn't bet this weekend. Thank God I did not bet this weekend because that would have been
Bro,
a disaster.
I would have pounded the table before, and not in hindsight, because I'm on record. I said it on the Mark Moses show on 1560 The Fan in Melbourne. Bing! That not to bet that game. So anyway,
the only game I would have hit probably would have been the only games I would have hit this weekend would have been the San Fran game and then hit the Dallas game.
You would not have hit the Dallas bet.
I had Dallas win the game.
No way Tom would let you bet against like that.
Well, Tom don't know what Tom don't need to know. That's it. Second thing here.
You better tell that one to your therapist. I can't get involved in that.
Second thing here. we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Lamar Jackson. Everything we've gone on with him, the injury, should he played, could he have played, this kind of thing. Then his Instagram post yesterday. Is he back next year as a Ravens quarterback?
Certainly doesn't look like it, does it? It certainly doesn't look like it. That being said, and I'm on record referencing Drew Brees and his contract negotiation tactics with the Saints in waiting to the 11th hour to get the maximum cash. Here's the problem. The Ravens' best argument against bringing Lamar Jackson back is also the thing that's hindering them the most. We can do well with Lamar. I keep calling him Lamar Huntley. That's not right. It's
Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley, and because it's Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Hunt is an actual person too. It's very confusing. Yes. Anyways, Tyler Huntley. You could still do good with him, which you've proven. But now because you can't draft a replacement for Lamar Jackson, essentially, right? So if you let him walk, what you're doing is you're probably adopting the 49ers way of life, right? But you don't have enough. Your offensive coordinator typically doesn't bring in the right guys. That your front office, I should say, not just your offensive coordinator, doesn't bring the caliber of talent to bury a lack of experience and talent, air quotes, in the outcome of your offense, right? Mm-hmm. So, I'll put it this way. If they don't sign Lamar, if L-Jack leaves Baltimore, and they are able to get commensurate pieces in his replacement or in replacing him, right? They account for him in the aggregate for you baseball fans that like Moneyball, which is a great movie about data science, frankly.
Saw in theaters.
That makes sense. Yeah, if you're going to decide to replace him in the aggregate by you spending that money on skill spots other than the quarterback position and then leaning on Tyler Huntley, okay, fine. You can sell me on it. I'm not going to pick you to win the division, especially one where Joey Burr lives. But maybe that is the strategy, right? Cincinnati's all in on Joey Burr in that window, regardless of what he says, will eventually close when they start needing to pay the other guys, including Joey Burr. Well, I mean, Joey Burr's already got an extension, but who's to say they won't again? I'm just throwing it out there. Anyways, but maybe that's the strategy. We know we can't outspend and get a quarterback. We can't guarantee we can find another quarterback who is on the same level as Joey Burr. I mean, really, technically, historically, one could argue the best quarterback overall, the most proven quarterback that Baltimore has ever had was a rental in himself and Steve McNair, right? So maybe they're going a different direction to try and battle having to face Joey Burr every year.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not that smart, and I'm giving them a lot more credit, but one has to think that is a viable thought process. Student of the game isn't just a clever nickname, bitches.
I do think that even with everything going on, that this relationship between the two, Lamar and the Ravens, can be still repaired.
The relationship could be once a contract is signed, but I think that the number's way too far apart.
But I will say Baltimore has a way how they do business. They've never steered from that. They don't want to give a certain amount of guarantee money to certain players, no matter what it is.
Let me stop you there.
Okay.
Who's been a player that they've had that's worth giving that guaranteed money to?
I think Ray Lewis is the only one I can even think of.
And he got paid, didn't he?
Yeah, to my knowledge, yeah.
then in the words of your boy Brad Pitt in Moneyball, then what the bleep are we talking about? Oh, I'm sorry. This is your podcast. Then what the fuck are we talking about?
So you're the opinion that they should pay him whatever he wants. Because I can see because the thing is, I'm very pro Lamar, you know this.
I
But
am
I
too.
can see the argument for both sides here too. Also,
That's the
because
thing. Yeah, exactly.
there's a lot of people in the media who are very like pro Lamar to the point they don't think broadly. The fact of the matter is, the last 2 years he's missed 5 games end of year, 6 end of this year. So let's be real here too. Also, injury risk are a thing now because of what we've seen last 2 years.
And here's the thing about it. I'm glad you brought up other journalists. And this isn't to knock any of my guys that I know who I actually use the big J and describe as a journalist. I don't describe myself as a journalist. Other people do. And I'm like, I guess on technicality, you got me. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other guys I know. You probably know who I'm talking about, but and I don't want to call them out because their beliefs, I'm not attacking their beliefs. And I don't want anybody to think I am.
Right.
But the problem with Lamar is he's a social movement for a lot of dudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, what the vernacular is, right? Because he looks the way he looks, right? The way I'm supposed to say it, he looks more like you and looks less like me, even though I'm about as dark as you are, but that's another question.
Some argue he's darker.
I'm not, listen, I'm not.
According to G, you're pretty tan.
Hey, G can do that as the member of as a person of color himself. I am not willing to slide the freaking chips that close to the
I'm mentioning G's words to me when he met you in New York those years ago.
You're mentioning, but
he goes, Kyle's fucking dark, dude. That dude is tan as a motherfucker. Like, what?
I'm definitely darker than him, for sure.
Yeah.
But listen, and I love that you're bringing it up because the precarious nature of this stance flows nicely into this. Mm-hmm. I get that LJack is a representation of a successful black quarterback in this league right now in a world when we're trying to call attention to inclusion. And he is with other quarterbacks have become an elite group that contributes heavily. Now, unfortunately, Rusty has fallen off because he's gotten old. That Deshaun Watson thing happened, which is terrible. It's
Let's give another year. Let's get one more year, and if you see this next year, both these guys, then we can put them to pasture.
Nothing takes away him being a little bit of a perv, buddy.
No, I'm talking about football play. I'm
not. You keep in mind, I mentioned that Lamar Jackson represents a social stance here. Right.
Okay.
So Rusty fell off because reasons. Deshaun Watson is essentially pulled his best, well, we'll say Cliff Huxtable, so you don't get edited if you catch my meaning.
Yeah.
Right. So he's not a good look anymore. And his football may come back, but he'll always have an asterisk next to his character from now on, as he should, in the words of Joel Klatt. Right. And there are other quarterbacks of color who are advancing, like Tua and all that. But right now, there's something that limits them. Lamar Jackson is the idol that he should be in this social concept as well. So a lot of people throw more of that into it. And who knows, maybe from the Ravens' perspective, that holds a bit more weight in its own right. You're not in the nation's capital, but you're certainly better at making social statements than a team seated in the seat of government, right? They couldn't even get the Red Tails thing right.
Right.
So if the Ravens value that, which we're not sure if they do, all of that is a factor as well. But I say all of that to say this. Lamar Jackson might be getting blown up from a real estate standpoint because the people who are blowing him up are doing it based on his talent in football, and rightfully so, but they're not the ones handling the money. And as somebody who works in the gaming industry, EJ, you understand you got to do some different stuff to slide the chips when they total millions of dollars in the middle of the table. It's real damn easy to do it when it's your money, not your money or monopoly money. It's really tough when it's your own cash, right?
Right.
I made that hit home for you. Referencing.
You did good. You did good. I'm proud of you, kid. So, I say kid as you older way you're.
No, hey, listen. Keep the youth all you want. My knees still hurt from walking around Disney, for fuck's sake.
We'll discuss that later.
All right,
and finally, last team here, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who ended the year 8-9.
Before we get that, the last statement I want to make about LJack.
Oh, go ahead. What's up?
I'm not saying here's how I'll say it. I would pay him, but if they don't, I think it's a viable strategy. I, as a 49er fan, can't knock them for not bringing in L-Jack if they don't want to pay his price tag. When they've made Mr. Irrelevant their damn currently undefeated starting quarterback. How can I knock this, EJ Christian? And by the way, the hands-down favorite to represent the NFC in the goddamn Super Bowl over a team that won, what was it, 11 straight? So, yeah, I get it. Next team, EJ.
Buccaneers, 8-9.
F, outright. And it has nothing to do with last night. But Kyle, you said all playoff teams deserve a C. That team's in the playoffs because they had to send somebody. They aren't a playoff team. They're the head of the island of misfit toys. In a week where EJ Christian, this week, how many games were supposed to be close if you listen to We Pundits? 2.
Close games?
Yeah.
1.
How many games were supposed
2,
to be close? How many games were predicted close this week? 2.
Maybe 3. Maybe 3.
What would have been the third?
This one last night.
Okay. Here's the thing. The only game that didn't end up close was this one.
Yep. And it's funny you said that. You know why? At least Seattle San Fran was competitive to the late third quarter, early fourth quarter.
Thank you. Well done.
This one was never close.
Right. And that's the point I was about to make. You made it just as good as I will. We will leave that ish at that. Well done.
I didn't go as far as you on the grade.
Well, sure.
But I did go far
tonight. So
no. But I did go far. I went D-.
What?
D-. What do you want to do? Because again, the only reason they even got a D was because you can't control who plays around you, so they got in the playoffs. Okay, duly noted. But whatever. You got in the playoffs, then you continue to embarrass yourselves after you got in the playoffs.
Here's the thing, EJ.
Mm-hmm.
I would compel the committee to penalize them another half-letter grade down for blaming it all on Byron Leftwich.
Yeah, he got fired this morning.
That's why they're an F, buddy. You're not signing off on that?
Fuck it. F it is.
Oh, can it come?
Boom! Let's go. Question. Tom Brady, is he done? Last game ever?
Oh, God. Buddy, he should be, but he won't. He slid the chips too far on the table. Now he's committed. The cards are out.
He cost his family.
Basically. I'm not saying they can't reconcile, but listen, if Giselle is the power that we assume and the independent woman that we've been told, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. So I think Brady will be back next year.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be with the Bucks.
Obviously.
I still think Tom Brady is one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the league. I still think Brady's probably one of the best 20 quarterbacks in the league. You can argue top 16.
I can't.
He's not top 10 anymore. We can agree to that.
Sure. He's can't argue top 16.
I will say he's still better than at least half the quarterbacks in this league right now currently. In a one year sample, I will take Brady over half the quarterbacks in the league.
That's the thing.
That's it.
Upside is a factor here, though. You can't put it that way.
Of course. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm sure every team knows that if you get Brady for another year, it's really for that season, that campaign, and we'll go year to year from that point.
But who in this mix is good enough for Brady to be worth the rental? Other than the 49ers.
I was just going to say that. And at this point, why would you fuck with a good thing when you have going with Purdy and the company? And then at the very least, although you could make the argument though that
I would.
Let's play devil's advocate here. If I'm John Lynch and I really want to I got a hard on get Brady here to play home again. Jimmy G's done. We know Jimmy G's gone after this year.
That's
you trade Lance for whatever picks you get back for him.
Why?
But I mean, you might as well.
You're going to bring in Brady. Let these two watch him.
Listen, no. But Trey Lance, you get something back for. It's an asset more than else.
I hear that.
You sit Purdy for 1 year behind Brady, and then Purdy's back.
Let me stop you there. What would you actually get for Trey Lance at this point? He's
you probably get at least a second rounder, at least.
Oh hell no!
He's too young. Well, okay. This Trey Lance narrative, we gotta. Okay, how many games did he actually played in his career? Like 5, 4?
That's the problem. That's the problem. Nobody knows what he is.
Yeah, but the narrative is that he sucks.
No, I didn't say that.
No, I didn't say you said that. I said that that's a narrative out there though. That he's not not a good quarterback.
Let's keep it at the best case scenario. Leave out the stupid. Okay, there's people out there who think that Justin Herbert sucks. Okay,
they're morons.
Right? Let's keep this intelligent, level-headed. As a GM with an asset you don't know about, who is bad enough up to give up a second-round pick? Maybe the Jets.
There are desperate teams. And Kyle, I think we have a situation now, especially now with the downswing of Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson. And now obviously their contracts are going to keep the other teams longer than they probably should. But we're seeing now there's more teams that need quarterbacks than we realized. In this league.
Sure, but who's giving up a second rounder for Brock Purdy? Trevor Lance. Trevor Lance.
I can see that without even looking at their financials and their situation.
I'm not even doing that either. Yeah,
I can see the Jets doing it.
Okay, so I said the Jets. Okay,
I can see a scenario where the Raiders do it.
I don't.
I can see a scenario where the Panthers do it.
No.
Wait, the Panthers committed to Hey Darnold and company? No.
More than that. And if there's a quarterback they want in the draft, they have the assets to move to get him.
Fair point.
In terms of draft picks, now what they have on the field, they might be screwed there. So that's another conversation.
You don't think Minnesota might want to take him on in the event Kirk Cousins is on a downswing now? He's in his contract anyway, and I think next year. Just saying, there's a lot of future movement here that the Niners can capitalize on moving an asset.
But there's other ones out there they could go after. If they want a new quarterback, get into the Lamar Jackson business.
Here's a point to hold this now too, though. There's a market. That's the whole point.
Market. No. Yeah, I'm not saying Trey Lance can't find a new job. That's something different. I'm telling you, a second rounder, no way.
And again, this is even if the Niners even are willing to go into the business, which I don't think they really are.
I agree.
Especially if they win the Super Bowl this year. Why would you? You know, so that's just that. Something I've been talking about a lot also too. I think you and I touched it a little bit throughout the year. Todd Bowles.
Yes.
I mean, I think he'll be back next year. There's been no rumblings maybe he'll lose his job.
I agree.
But given how the season went and things already started to move, Brian Leftwich just got fired. You think Todd Bowles is on the? He's certainly gonna be on the hot seat next year.
He's on the hot seat certainly. I don't think he gets fired this offseason. I think it's more about the fact that if you do fire him, who would you bring in? I don't know that Sean Payton is interested in the Bucs. You know, I don't know that anybody's interested doing a post Brady cleanup because of the assets thrown out to get not only him, but that amazing roster that won the Super Bowl over Patrick Mahomes II, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, over that group that was one huge play by John Matthew Stafford away from returning to the damn Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Another team, Rams, another team also may want to get a quarterback if Stafford decides to retire.
I hate this whole Stafford sucks narrative now too.
It's not about him sucking; it's about him. Is he even physically able to go next year?
Well, that's the Lions' fault, right?
No, but he might retire. Who knows?
Oh, no, and he probably should. That's not the question.
Spinal.
Yeah.
Talk about spinal stuff. I mean, that's the whole kind of worms here, buddy.
Yeah. Spinal tap out. I get it. You understood that joke, Rocker.
Of course, yeah.
But listen. I think John Matthew Stafford should be done. That's a whole other question.
Right.
But yeah, whatever. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Let's get to the picks this weekend. We'll make it short and sweet. First game, I believe, is the Jaguars at Chiefs. Go. Who wins?
I am not brave enough to pick the Jaguars in Arrowhead. I got the Chiefs.
All right. We got the Giants at the Eagles. 8:00 on I think it's on Fox.
I'm going to pick EJ's Eagles over EJ's Giants.
No, to say Matt's Eagles. You didn't say that.
Correct.
No, you're going to pick Jalen Hurts'
EJ's
Jalen Hurts over EJ's Giants.
This is very confusing. All these
I'm telling you. How about Bengals and Bills?
You would ask me to pick this, you son of a bitch. No, Listen, I'm picking the Bills, even though I kind of think the Bengals will win. I'm going to pick the Bills to stay consistent with my pick in September of the Bills going to the hizzy.
Now, the Bengals did lose offensive lineman.
They did. And how much did that matter for Joe Burrow last year, buddy?
This is very true. Finally, your Niners and the Cowboys. The Cowboys did it. The Dallas did it, actually.
Yeah, they did it. They hurled themselves right in the goddamn meat grinder.
You picked the 1 week Niners Cowboys week, and you don't go on the show with you and Jim? Are you kidding me, dude?
But we all know that Jim won't pick the Cowboys.
Of course not.
So next question.
Yeah, come on. That guy was running scared the entire week with this game, and I texted him yesterday saying, "Dude, you're gonna win, and you know what? You're gonna win comfortably too. The Bucs aren't good. The Bucs aren't good."
You did say that, Ernest Christian.
Yeah.
You. And I'm glad you texted it instead of saying it over the phone where Tom can hear you.
Right. No, I mean, the Bucs aren't
the
good.
family's here.
Yeah, the Bucs aren't good. I mean, what? This is what I understand. Look, I know it's. I'm gonna close this real quick. I know it's cute out there for the media to make fun of the Cowboys. You know, Stephen A. Smith, and look, it's all fun. Whatever, it's all entertainment stuff. It's all fun making fun of the Cowboys. But talking football, where did you ever see the Bucs beat the Cowboys? Unless Dallas beat themselves.
You know the answer to this question already because you've been seeing it for years, right? Tom Brady's the GOAT, but he throws an interception to the Titans in his final career game as a Patriot. He throws an interception in what should have been Patrick Mahomes II's return to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, first year at the Super Bowl, his return, he actually won over the Niners 30-21. Sorry. But Thomas Edward Patrick Beaver Brady threw an interception that should have blown that game, but somebody was lined up off sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
We won't get into the other numerous tuck rules and this and that and the other thing. And then when Patrick Mahomes II loses to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, because that's how the press puts it, they completely forget about the fact that Patrick Mahomes II was missing 3 offensive linemen starting, right? And also, the Bucs had a fantastic defense. And just like rookie Brady, the Patriots defense was that good when he went on his brief Super Bowl tear there, right?
Yep.
I mean, I talked to Richard Seymour leading up to his Hall of Fame induction, who gave a nice little speech about how everybody knows it was the Patriots defense when I implied that his enshrinement might be giving that defense a little bit of shine. He was trying to say they don't need shine, but while also saying, yeah, we didn't get enough shine.
Yeah.
So no, this is always what they do with Brady. This is what annoys me about Brady. I've never truly hated, air quotes, Brady. I've always had a problem with his fans, which is why you were never a Giants fan.
Quiet. Take the last game in there. The last game was Niners and Cowboys. You picked the Niners, of course, right?
Yeah, everybody's going to pick the Niners. I mean,
yeah, not surprised there. Plug away, Kyle. That was fun.
Man, listen, an honor, joy, and privilege, Ernest Christian. Of course, I am Kyle Nash. The student of the game, you can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. Find me on Instagram as the same, the SOTG. Check out my writings with the black and gold banneret covering UCF basketball and football, which I will be missing Huddle Up this week because of the basketball in question. But see me up on the Huddle Up podcast there too. Bing.
Bing.
Of course, find me on Facebook as a student of the game. There on Instagram, you'll see my wrap-ups of the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I put up on the 3-point conversion YouTube page as well, and cover with, in conjunction, A7BN Sports, of course, the Captain and Company morning show with my friend Captain Chris Hill, and all the delighted work that I do with those entities. Get at the Super Bowl here soon, Ernest Christian. Oh, yeah.
Excited about it?
I am. By the way, something else I'm excited about this afternoon, I will be involved in a Zoom call with the XFL's Orlando Guardians, meeting up with head coach Terrell Buckley, an FSU guy. Hey, now.
Oh, yeah, no, number 27.
Right.
Cornerback, former Green Bay Packer also.
Look at this. I see what you're doing there, EJ Christian. But I'll be talking to him this just about
He was really good. He was really good at FSU, though. He's fucking fast, too. Oh, my God.
I hope so. He's a corner. That's the job.
Yeah, he was really fast.
Anyway,
so,
honor,
job,
privilege, my guy. Until next time, class dismissed.